Be a great governor, huh?
Yeah.
Now, it's one of those things we talked about silent, down here, silent. The voices, right, representing those kind of things. I've been around the state, 39 counties, 42,000 miles, and the biggest thing I hear is no one, my vote doesn't matter, or no one hears me, or I don't have a voice in Olympia. And so we're here to change that. I'm Marty McClendon. I'm running for Lieutenant Governor. I'm the Republican candidate for that. I'm going to tell you a little bit of history about kind of who I am and why I'm running, but then kind of what I want to do as your Lieutenant Governor if given the chance. And then really a couple of the ideas as well. But really, this race, this election from the national level and the local level, it really is about right and wrong. It's about restoring the way it's supposed to be, putting power back in the hands of people, restoring it to the people. Government's got way too out of control and not doing what it's supposed to do. It's only supposed to do what we tell it to do on our behalf. Now, I grew up in eastern Washington, Quincy, Wenatchee, and Grand Coulee Dam. I say that as my dad was a rancher and a construction worker. My grandfather were farmers. If you look at eastern Washington, you have Rocky Island Dam, Rocky Reach Dam, and Grand Coulee Dam. That's where our travels went. So every time we do a job, we moved. Grand Coulee is a huge town of over about 1,000 people. So my high school class was about 95 kids. It's where I'm an Eagle Scout. My dad only had a few rules as a cowboy. He said, look, if you give your word, you keep it. If you start something, you finish it. If you do anything at all, give 100%. You respect your elders, you love God, and pretty much that's it. Everything else is on your own. It's the way I was raised. So as an Eagle Scout, those are the same values about love of country, honesty, trustworthiness. I went to the UW, I studied pre-med. While I was there, I got, thank you. They won the day too. Yeah, undefeated this year, hopefully. While I'm there, I got a job in anesthesia. I worked as an anesthesia technician. I worked over every hospital in Seattle and the Puget Sound area. I say that only because the skills there, what we did, we got to be one of 5 that could do what I could do while I was going to school. Basically, when someone was in a cath lab and had vessels they would dissect, they'd have to be in the OR within about 10 minutes. You have to get the patient, transfer them over, get lines in, get them intubated to sleep, about 10 to 12 minutes. And it was high stress, high adrenaline, and I loved it. Because the idea was everything slowed down for me. We have a job to do, let's get it done. And I have some coworkers that would fall apart. And, and we don't care enough. No, we have a job to do. Imagine a lieutenant governor could work with both sides and say, right, what's the most important thing to do at first? We have a job to do, let's get it done together and on time, right? So then I met my wife, she's been a nurse for 26 years. We had our son, and when both of us were on call every other night and every other weekend, it was probably not a good thing for a family, so one of us had to leave. So I went into real estate, and the last 17 years I sold real estate all across the Puget Sound. Part of that is working with people, multiple people, getting things done, multiple entities, trying to come to a solution in time and on time that everybody's happy with, right? Win-win solutions for everybody. Another skill set that transfers over to the Lieutenant Governor. In that part, though, I also manage 9 offices, 150 different agents, doing all the training and teaching and business. So I've owned businesses as well. This is all that leadership, training, mentoring type thing. The last 3 years, in addition to that, I pastored a church in Get Covered, called Family Church Get Covered. Why in the world would we do that? The idea was we want to be very intentional about family. We understand the breakdown of society, the breakdown of our government, is the breakdown of family. If we can fight for families, we can restore our community. We can restore our community and our state and our nation. And so we open up and have free lunch every Sunday for the public. The idea is families engaging. The last 2 years I've been on the radio in Seattle. In addition to those things, we have a radio program called Eyes on Washington. It's a political station from 5 to 6 p.m. But it's a social and political commentary from a Christian perspective program. So we have everything from smart meters to politics to religion on there, talking about how we, as people, help our government. And our main theme at the end of every show, whether we're talking about politics or not, is that every man, woman, and child has a God-given talent or skill or ability that we need to be engaged in their community to make their community better, make the state better. And yet oftentimes we're not asking them to get involved. Okay? I have 3 kids. My oldest is 19, my middle is 14, my youngest is 13. Logan, Faith, and Grace. We have a long story there, but my son had leukemia twice. My daughter's a donor. It's a great story for some other time. But it makes us who we are. Now, when it comes to Lieutenant Governor, we know that Lieutenant Governor fills in for Bill when Bill's gone. He's the governor. You know that the Lieutenant Governor presides over the Senate. Right there, bringing both sides together. I understand if we just go from Democrat to Republican or vice versa in that regard, just change the jerseys but do the same things. We do nothing. We've got to change the culture of government once again, where there's civility, where there's honor. I understand that Okay, basically the golden rules, what my whole campaign's been about, right? When you value, respect, and hear everybody else, so everybody has a voice and get things done. And 1 minute left here. I have some real common sense solutions that bring to the table, but I will say this. One of the things I've committed to do as Lieutenant Governor is to engage every community, every county, every city outside of Olympia, outside of session, gather together local business leaders, local government leaders, local nonprofits, church groups, and bring them together in a group and say, what are 3 to 5 issues facing your community that's not being addressed by Olympia? Is there a local solution for it? Is there a business solution for government? Something the nonprofits can do in a better, more efficient way than government can. And if not, if there's red tape or rules, regulations, bring it back to Olympia, and I'll also sit down and say, this is what Olympia needs to fix her own problems. Let's help them do something. All right, so I'm Marty McClendon. I ran too long. Thank you very much. But I would appreciate your vote and your support, and God bless. Thank you.